when I was reflecting, my first question was, Theo, why? If you take yourself back and I reflect, I think in 2015, when the idea came about, in a time when there's Nike, there's Adidas, and there's so many other brands globally that have come for that market space. What made you think that there was still enough of a market to start a shoe business?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm normally introduced as the founder, but I want to correct that I'm just the first employee of Batu. But getting into it, your question. So there's a number of reasons, as to why we started our business and why we do what we do. I myself, I am a product of opportunity. I've had great opportunities in my life to further my studies in accounting, to work for one of the top accounting firms. I won't mention them, but they are our neighbors. And coming from Alexander Township, Cape Flats on the other side, and Alex here. So, I was very privileged to have, whatever opportunities that I've, wanted. Work for, an accounting firm, not only in South Africa, abroad as well. But oftentimes, as I was preparing in my corporate journey, and I had so many opportunities, oftentimes when I came back home being as an township, I would see the current state of affairs of that community, the reality of that community. A lot of people are unemployed, predominantly youth. And when you have conversations with your friends and the guys that you went to school with, and you listen closely as to why they're experiencing what they're experiencing, I realized that it's not because of they're lazy or anything, and you can't blame the government or anything like that. It's simply because some of us have gotten opportunities that a lot of our peers have been gotten. So am I going to be a guy who sits in the UAE, I work in the UAE? Am I going to be the guy that sits there? And this was, before Dubai became an interesting location, many years ago. So am I going to be that guy that sits in the UAE and look down upon people in Alex and say, you guys are lazy, you don't want to do anything? Or am I going to be the guy who's going to come back home and try to bring about a solution? That was the primary reason, why we started our business. And that is why our mission says, we want to reignite hope and create sustainable jobs. So the heartbeat of our business, more than anything else, is beyond, the saturated market. It was executed and started, from heart. And the heart was, we just want to reignite hope and create sustainable jobs. And maybe the next question is that, then why shoes? Because the market is saturated, there's big players we've already mentioned. I used to buy a lot of sneakers when I was in the AE. And there's a saying that says, if you buy too much of something, why not own it? Or at least, try to play a role in the chain, contribute somewhere, because you're buying it every day. Look at my collection, very, very low collection, US dollars. Something is missing out of this collection. A brand that resonates with me as a young African man, a brand that resonates with me with their brand promise, their peoples, a brand that probably does something for my community, and I can see the tangible impact. Because when I look at these brands, I can't see the tangible impact. So I need to go back home and build a brand. Number three, as I've mentioned, I'm in a product of opportunity. A lot of people have contributed to my journey. I'm talking Kim Fender from Tomorrow Trust, who gave me an opportunity to further my studies in accounting, the partners at the firm, and so forth. And oftentimes, where you come from, you are taught to express a sense of gratitude. So when someone has helped you, given you an opportunity, you ought to somewhat go back and say thank you. So when I went back to the people that have helped me to express a sense of gratitude, I was met by one big ask, that Theo, we don't want anything from you. We didn't help you because we wanted you to pay us back. We helped you because we believed in you. So pay it forward in your own way. So those three things contributed to, Batu. And quit my job, became a president, Came back home, used my savings as a capital to start the business, and today we've got the business where you know now, 35 brick and mortar stores, and we employ about 400 people.
It touches on to what the previous panel spoke about in terms of, defining a reason why you exist, and I love the view of coming back home and just taking the chance to create a local brand, which is brilliant. The previous panel touched on again the difference between sort of B2B and B2C, and I think both your businesses are largely B2C. How have you figured out how to communicate that value proposition? Because again, in a space now, both digitally and kind of physically, where there is so much marketing and we are bombarded with so much information, how do you continue to focus on communicating the value proposition of Batu, and why Batu should continue to be the preferred shoe for South Africans, and here really I think I'm looking for kind of the nuts and bolts of, for entrepreneurs who are in the B2C space, about thinking about marketing their businesses in a non-generic way, and how to do it smartly and with impact.
So, for us, the way we look at our business, and again, I want to speak about business models, right? So we are predominantly a B2C business, and with B2C, you're talking to customers. Customers are human beings. Human beings are creators of emotion. So when we build a brand and how we look at Batu, before we get to the value proposition, there's the emotive side of the brand, right? That connects with the customer. But equally so, the customer needs to wear the shoes and get the value. So there's the functional side. And we spend a lot of time trying to get it right and improve on it. Look at our slogan, and it was very intentional from the day we started. It says, "Walk your journey." And everyone is on a journey. The beauty of our journey is that journey does not have color, size, or shape. Everyone's got visions, dreams, and visions. And we want to connect with that customer on their journey, right? So we keep on communicating that message that whatever the journey looks like, we spoke about challenges, the journey of entrepreneurship, the journey of life, and so forth. We want Batu to be a shoe of choice in your journey. And on the functional side, we looked at the offering that is in the market. I'm sure you obviously know the ever-inspiring brand from the States that inspired a lot of people, and how now it's sort of experiencing declines, mainly because over and above the journey and the emotive side of the brand, there's also the functional side of your business, your product. So we looked at our products and we're like, how do we define this? And how do we make sure that it's in parallel with the emotive side of the brand so that we can connect with our customer? And we clearly defined that we want to build durable shoes that are cool, that are cool factor, nice designs, but also that are affordable. We want to compete in price. And it has been a great journey in building that. I mean, if you look at our products from when we started and our products now, it's like two different brands. Because every day we focus on that functional side of our product offering, because we want to really compete with amazing products. But equally so, we look at the consumer from the emotive side and make sure that we win them over. There are amazing campaigns that communicates impact. Amazing campaigns from the brand side, because we communicate our impact on a daily, from how many people we employ, all the wins. And that sense of communication to the consumer that actually when I'm buying Batu over and above the product, I'm actually contributing to a bigger cause, because they are responsible with my money. And that's how we've built our brand. And future-proofing our business, we further went on to say, the market is saturated. We grew up wearing these amazing brands, international, and they're all in our minds, right? So it's hard to tell you that, at my big age to wear battery, go to the consumer and say, from now on, you only wear battery. When I've, grown up wearing different brands. So we're like, okay, cool, that's a challenge. I mean, to get, all our current consumers and to win the market, it's gonna be difficult job. We are aware of that. But who's our future consumer, right? Who's our future consumer? Who's on a journey and they actually don't know what the journey looks like. Some of them haven't really defined their dreams. They don't know where they're going to end up, in the future. And oftentimes, corporates and brands make a mistake of overlooking that future consumer because they focus on a consumer that can contribute to the bottom line today. FY 24, 25, this is our target. Who can contribute to the target? That's all we care about, right? If you're not contributing to that, you're not helping me score my KPIs, I don't care about it. Right? I'm gonna, yeah.
Using a lot of people.
Sorry.
FY 24 budgets. A lot of guys.
So I actually, and corporates and brands do that mistake. So I'm not gonna waste my resources in for trying to talk to you, right? If you're not gonna contribute to what I'm building now, and end of the year I'm gonna look at my numbers and be happy, then I'm gonna focus on it. But yes, that person is not your consumer today, but they are consumers tomorrow. So what we then did, like your Theos grew up wearing these brands, it's gonna be really hard to, convince them that we are the brand, right? So we're gonna go to the future consumer, a Theo who's in grade 1, who does not really know what the journey looks like. The parents told him to go to school to wear a uniform. They're waking up in the morning, he eats breakfast every day, there's the routine, he goes to school, he comes back, and he's got that journey for 12 years. So we can tap into that guy. We can actually build that guy for a long term. So we then took from our proceeds, we started a CSI project called Batu for Batu Care Project that aims at donating 1 million pairs of school shoes. The same way that we started our business, from my savings and seed capital, we took from our proceeds, which we got from our consumers. And we're responsible with that, we went back to give back. Because when Theo is in grade 1, Batu comes and gives him school shoes, and he goes to grade 4, he goes to grade 8, grade 10, and goes to matric, and potentially higher education. One day, when he is President Cyril Ramaphosa, one day when he's Black Coffee, one day when he's Trevor Noah, he's going to look back and say, who walked the journey with me? And that's what we do about it. Every day of our life, we look at the emotional side of our brand and the functional part of our brand to build the business that we have today.
I've always sold all my Nikes.